Welcome to the final video on Unit 6. We'll get straight into the final topic, which is topic F, which is all about quality. Quality standard is just a certain level of quality. Quality standards have certain requirements, specifications, guidelines or characteristics that a business will need to complete and make sure that they meet all of these requirements in order to claim that they have this quality standard. Quality and quality standards are important to meet customer requirements and meet what customers want, enable products to be produced safely and fit for purpose, because we don't want to produce products that are unsafe, to comply with different laws and legislation from just a normal point of view and an environmental point of view. And again, if we're complying with all of that, that's going to keep our reputation high and also help us avoid legal action. The first quality standard you need to be aware of is the British Standards Institution BS 7850. Now this, I'll read it out. It's a management philosophy and company practices that aim to harness the human and material resources of an organisation in the most effective way to achieve the organisation's objectives. So basically we're talking about becoming effective and efficient within our business and making sure we're making the most of our materials. The International Organisation for Standardization, ISO 8402, this is a management approach of an organisation centred on quality based on participation of all its members and aiming at long-term success through customer satisfaction and benefits to all members of the organisation and society. So we're looking in the long term. We're not like rushing jobs and trying to complete them as quick as possible to make as much money as possible. We're trying to make sure that the items we're producing are of good level of quality, and we're looking at long-term planning. The BSI Kite mark is the next one. This is a quality mark owned and operated by BSI. It's recognised as one of the most sort of recognisable symbols of quality and safety. If you see this mark on a product or service, you can sort of know that it's of good quality, and when you're purchasing it, it gives you sort of a decent level of trust that it's been produced in a good way. Quality standards, there's also something called investors in people. This is a standard, it's different to the others in terms of the others are for more physical products. This one is actually for service. So this is all to do with a standard of people management. So if you see like the investors in people logo at your school or at a business, that means that they have certain specifications that they meet with regards to how they deal with people in an organization. Okay, we move on to F2 now, which is developing a quality culture. So it's important to develop a quality culture and get employees buying into producing items at a high level of quality to make sure that we produce good levels of quality products and that therefore customers down the line are happy and keep buying from us. So what things can drive a quality culture? Well, what about the leadership? Who are they? What are they doing? That will drive quality. If they care about quality, it was likely to impact on employees further down the line also caring about quality. Is there a credible quality message? There's no point saying we really care about quality and then, not training staff, not buying the best equipment. Peer involvement, so getting all of the employees buying into it. Employee ownership of quality issues, so getting them involved in decision making. Setting quality standards then, so a couple of things to know about, we need to know quite in depth here is quality control and quality assurance. So quality control processes not only occur between input and output, but also before production is begun. Quality control is about checking the levels of quality, but it's not just about checking it at the end of production, it's about checking it throughout production. So at the start, at the middle, at the end, throughout the whole process. Quality assurance is about thinking about what customers want and building the product to make it sort of specific to what the customers want and what their requirements are. So pros of and cons of setting quality standards then. So if we have quality standards and we set them high, it can reduce poor quality products being produced and sold. It can improve the brand image, but it does take time and it does cost money. So managers have to be really, really committed, and they've got to encourage staff to buy into quality. And this can take time, it can cost money, and we need to really be, as managers, we need to be enthusiastic with quality to encourage our subordinates to work with us. Another way of improving quality is quality circles. It's literally as it sounds. At regular intervals, we're getting staff together in circles to discuss and talk about ways in which we can improve quality. This can encourage staff involvement, greater trust between managers and subordinates. It can be quite time consuming, and there's also more chance of conflict when we get these groups together. Partnership working with suppliers and customers. It's vital that a business works with both suppliers and customers to fully meet needs and expectations. So we need to work, suppliers, customers, the business all need to work together. We also need to gain feedback from our customers and our suppliers to try and improve quality. It's important that communication is open and transparent and clear. We know, the business, the suppliers are not lying about things. We're getting the facts, and that's really important. There was that scandal not that long ago where horse meat was being sold in beef burgers that were being sold through Tesco, and one of the reasons why that happened was there wasn't clear communication between the supplier and Tesco. Okay, F3, we're looking at the techniques and tools of quality management. So a bit more depth on quality control here and quality assurance. Quality control, I've already mentioned, is about looking at inspecting the levels of quality, and that can be done throughout the whole production process rather than just at the end. It can be quite a time-consuming and costly process. So quality control, like the example on the right hand side, they're checking the wheat as it's coming in for production. They're checking it before it's being baked, the bread, to make sure it's at the right temperature, and then they have a metal detector at the end of the production line to make sure the level of quality is up to standard. You need to know some pros and cons for quality control, and I've already run over those already, but it can reduce the amount of poor quality products that are being sold. It can improve brand image. Does take a long time to do, and it can also be quite costly because you're generating quite a lot of waste, and therefore that can be costly. Lean production is another way of thinking about things. It's about reducing waste, trying to be as efficient as possible, because obviously the more waste we produce, the more cost we have. So effective lean production, which is just about being more efficient and cutting costs. You need to have good relations with your suppliers. You need to have committed, skilled, and motivated employees. You need to have a good quality, a good culture of quality assurance, and constantly trying to improve. And there needs to be good trust between the managers and employees. It's good because it helps reduce waste, and that helps reduce costs. Although it can reduce costs, it can in the short term increase costs, because again, it's not something you can just click straight away and it improves. So in the short term, it can increase costs, but in the longer term, it can save you money. Also, it can lead to workers getting a little bit frustrated. You also need to be aware of Six Sigma, which is a data-driven technique that aims to improve business processes and performance. And what this does is reduces the probability of errors occurring. It's a sort of automated type way of looking at business quality. So it's basically a framework that a business will go through. They think about who is the customer and what do they want. We then measure what we're producing. We then analyze that and look at what are the defects going on with the business, and then we look to improve it and eliminate the defects, and then we want to be thinking about what actions we can do to improve quality. Pros and cons, kind of similar to the other ones. Hopefully it should improve quality. It can make the process more efficient, but it does take time and it does cost money. F4 is zero defect production. It's kind of, again, as it sounds, it's about producing items without producing any defects, and that can be good because it can lead to higher customer satisfaction. It enables you to maximize profit. It takes a bit of pressure on the staff though, and that's a negative, and it can cost a little bit of money as well to do zero defect. You might have to do zero defect if you're doing certain types of products. Like, you wouldn't want to make a plane and then realize that you've spent £100 million on producing it, and then you do quality control and then you realize you made some mistakes. You'd want to use zero defect on that one. Another one which is rephrased as Kaizen. Kaizen is continuous improvement. It's just basically doing lots and lots of little things that should mount up to a big change. So if you see anything in your business that you think you can try and improve it, that is continuous improvement. Improved output quality. So there's loads of benefits to a business of producing a high quality item. They can charge higher prices, and customers like to be more satisfied with the product they're buying. Also, if we are producing a good quality service or product, we're less likely to be inspected and deemed to be doing a bad job. Supplier engagement and satisfaction is really important to engage with our suppliers and make sure we know what they're doing, because that's going to be a big part of whether we're producing good quality products or services. We could be making the best trainers in the world, but if we're buying sort of poor quality cotton that goes into them, they're probably not going to last that long, and therefore poor quality is going to happen. We also need to get customers involved, get their feedback, take that on board, listen to what they're saying about us on social media, and then make changes accordingly. We also want to improve efficiency and profitability, so we want to keep costs down and increase revenue, and we want to be thinking about quality systems as a way of improving our business.